Between the political intrigue and unexpected deaths, I can't get enough of Game of Thrones. It's a soap opera filled with epic sword fights, villainous characters, and 3 badass dragons. In fact, just about the only thing I don't love about Game of Thrones is that it's not an actual game. Sure, Telltale and Cyanide Studios both took stabs at adapting this medieval world to modern video game consoles, but those don't scratch the itch. When I watch the show's memorable opening, I can't help but pine for a deep, engaging Game of Thrones board game. Apparently League of Geeks agreed, as they've spent the last 5 years crafting an involving board game that will make you forget all about the fate of Jon Snow. Using adorable animals to tell a twisted tale of death and disease, Armello takes everything we love about Game of Thrones and mashes it into one of the best video game tabletop experiences I've ever had. For a game with so many moving parts, Armello has a surprisingly simple setup. The king has been corrupted by an evil force known as the Rot. It's slowly killing him and threatens to plunge the entire region into chaos. To avoid this from happening, representatives from 8 anthropomorphic animal classes have set out to become the new king. Each hero plays into their animal stereotypes. Mercurio is a sneaky rat. Brune is a devastatingly destructive bear, and Amber the bunny is full of boundless curiosity. The 8 characters have unique weapons and attributes that will change the way you approach each turn. The goal may be the same, but the 8 heroes couldn't be more different. Armello is set on a large playing field that is filled with several types of tiles. Some spaces are harmful and will injure the player, while the next one over may be a shrine that heals the hero. Mountain tiles will take 2 moves to reach, but will increase defense. On the other hand, there are forest sections that will conceal your location from the other players. Like most traditional role-playing games, Armello is about solving quests. You choose from 3 that are scattered throughout the world, forcing the player to make a long trek to complete the mission. Doing this will not only add rare and valuable cards to your deck, but also give the player prestige points. This is your ticket to controlling the board and eventually dethroning the king. The objective isn't always as easy as it seems. There are several ways of winning, including the direct and murderous approach. The king's days are numbered, so it's only a matter of turns before he runs out of health and the hero with the most prestige takes over. Players can also win by collecting 4 spirit stones and banishing the king, but that usually involves a lot of luck. Before thinking about the in-game, our heroes will spend a lot of time scouring the land looking for new cards. There are 128 different cards in total, each fitting into 6 unique classes. Some will temporarily boost the player's attributes, while others can have an ill effect on the opponents. There are also item cards that can be equipped on our hero, giving them an advantage in combat. Speaking of which, fights are won and lost by the roll of the dice. Players can improve their chances by using cards, but the fate is ultimately decided when both sides make their rolls. We do this by using the DualShock 4's touchpad, which is an inspired use of Sony's gimmicky technology. The fight concludes with an intense battle between players, which could send our hero all the way back to the starting point. By this point, you may be feeling a little overwhelmed by all the moving pieces. I don't blame you, there's a lot to take in. But the truth is, we're only scratching the surface. I haven't even brought up the day-night cycle or how the king can change the rules through his decrees. There's a lot to take in, and it may not all click in the first play. However, thanks to a strong tutorial and constant reminders, it will only take a couple of tries for the mechanics to make sense. And before long, you'll be whipping around the world of Armello like a seasoned pro. As a board game, League of Geeks gets everything right. The rules are airtight and the large variety of cards ensure you'll have a new experience every single time. Best of all, it's actually fun. There are constantly things to be doing to improve your standings, even when you're waiting for somebody else to take their turn. While not exactly fast-paced, Armello moves along quickly and is never boring. Unfortunately, the video game elements aren't as rock-solid as the board game. The biggest problem is the text size, which can be nearly invisible at times. It's clear that this is a game designed for people sitting in front of a computer monitor, not console gamers lounging on a couch several feet from their screen. Even with a large TV and minimal distance, I had a hard time reading a lot of the details. The lack of local multiplayer options is also disappointing. While the game is jam-packed with online potential, I can imagine it being especially exciting at home with a group of friends. That is, after all, the biggest selling point for tabletop games, and Armello loses something by not having it as an option. Don't let the simple look and adorable characters fool you. This is a deadly serious game filled with murder, betrayal, and power plays. It's not only one of the year's most addictive multiplayer experiences, but also one of the best video board games I've played since Coldcept. Best of all, in the world of Armello, winter is still a long ways off. Hey, thanks for watching my review. This is just the start of a busy week at Defunct Games. We're going to be posting a bunch of previews over the next few days, including a look at 12 is Better Than 6, Overfall, and 80 Days. We'll also be taking another look at 20XX, now that it zipped past the alpha stage and is now in beta. It looks and plays better. We'll compare and contrast. So do me a favor and click the subscribe button and support what we're doing here. Until then.